all we got, that we all got us, they all right. Did I say something wrong? Did I say something wrong? I don't remember saying nothing wrong. I don't remember saying nothing wrong. I don't remember saying nothing wrong. But my brother in that prison, they treating us bad in these prisons, y'all. Y'all see how they got me pulled over? Y'all see how they got me? Because I told my brothers we all we got. Because I told my brothers we got us. I didn't do nothing. I didn't touch nobody. I didn't yell nothing disrespectful. I didn't cross nobody. I ain't hurt nobody. I ain't do none of that. But in these prison systems, they want to keep us out. But I'm here for the fight of humanity. I'm here for the fight of us. This really means something to me. So to jail, I will go again. Because this means something to me. This means something to me. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. I asked them when his visits, how visits set up, and this and that. That's it. And I said, we all we got. We all we got. Help is here. Help is here. These prisons is falling apart. These prisons is being destroyed. We as brothers is rotting away in these shits. Nobody cares about us. Nobody got us. Nobody. Nobody. They pull you over. They beat you up. They demolish us for the simplest and littlest of stuff. Look how they surround me like I'm an animal for saying we all we got. We all we got. That's all I said. Was we all we got, man. We here to make sure that these prisons ain't messed up.
Tuning in to me. You watching Gully TV. I have a very special guest this evening. This is a very, very unique interview. If I have to say so myself, my platform is predicated on hip-hop, sports, and fashion, but your situation came highly recommended by somebody who I respect out of the hip-hop community. Shout out to Jamal Nassar, that's my guy. And
Jamal.
Yeah, he carried that what is it, Route 31, that whole area up there.
Mr. 31.
Yeah, he repped that heavy, man. And he broke down to me, you know, exactly who you were and what it was that you're doing. And I actually found it interesting. And then after me and you conversed, you sent me some information and I was able to follow up. And I'm definitely interested in what it is that you're doing. First thing I want to say to you is white folks are scared of niggas like you.
Scared. Terrified. Terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified.
I appreciate you coming through, man. Why don't we just start from the top? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Demetrius Nix. I'm from Niagara Falls. I'm a black activist that have been out here stumping the ground, putting in the work. I got a movement, We All We Got, and I'm hoping that this movement helps change all of us in the inner city and help raise us out of it. And that's basically my mission. You know, my boy, I told him, Mr. 31 said, man, yo, y'all got a link. Y'all got to do this interview. I don't really do interviews. I stump the ground and I get it, you know, I get it in.
Right. The stuff that you're doing, everything about it is going to draw attention from the media at some point, which I feel is a good thing. You'll be able to make people more aware of We All We Got as an organization. And first thing I want to ask you is how did you come up with the title We All We Got?
Well, when I went to jail young, I came up with a plan to help, you know, form us a deep one. And I didn't have a name though, it was just a plan. And then one day we was sitting around, I had opened my school, Entrepreneur School of Thought. I opened the school, community center, and I'm like, everybody's sitting around and we just like, we needed a name.
Right.
And while we was sitting around, we was like, yo, Trump had just won office. And we like, yo, we all we got. We don't need no help. We all we got. And the name just stuck. And it started going. But the plan was here without the name.
Got it.
The name doesn't mean nothing. It's what we do for results in our community.
No doubt. We all we got. You stand by that.
Yeah, I stand on that. I stand by. We need to start buying back our communities. We need to start doing things in our community that really pulls our community up. So the We All We Got movement is different than any other movement that ever came.
Okay.
My movement ain't like, when I'm trying to take this movement national, I'm not trying to go to Louisiana or Alabama and be the leader of Alabama or Louisiana. My job is to come in and help bring the leaders out of our own communities.
Right.
So that's what it is. It's like a bunch of communities must come together to form this We All We Got.
Okay. I have a homeboy in Philadelphia. He goes by the name of OG Law. He has a mobile prison unit that he operates out of. It's a prison unit. It's on wheels and shit, and he takes it places. And he has this philosophy about how, you know, if guys don't change what they doing, they're gonna end up incarcerated, right? And he runs around with leg irons and handcuffs. He got the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just come out of the hole, out of the box or whatever. He got the belt and the leg irons and the chains, and he also got the orange jumpsuit. So, based on a video that I was just watching, did you choose that color in direct comparison or a reminder of the prison jumpsuits?
Yes. Orange is not my favorite color.
Okay.
But I started turning everything orange because it was like you said with your man, he's walking around with the shackles, with everything to show us that this is where we're going to be. The orange jumpsuit represents unity. It's unity. We're shackled together. When you're shackled together in prison, you got to walk foot in foot. When my left leg moves, your right leg must move. We're shackled together. So that's why I picked the orange, because it's time for us to be shackled outside of prison. No more orange jumpsuits. That's the representation of the orange jumpsuits. Even people was like I ran for mayor last year. They're like, take off your pajamas, you can win. I don't want to win. That wasn't the point. The point was to wake up the people that more of us could run. More of us could get involved. I signed up over 3,000 new voters. Because of me running and being from the streets and coming up in the streets, they're like, yo, who is this? I'm sitting on the debate stage with these big white folks, and they looking at me like I'm answering the questions, and I got the knowledge, but it wasn't meant to win. It was meant to wake us up. Like, they asked me, why do you wear pajamas? I started wearing pajamas 6 years ago thinking, you know, I'm fighting stop black on black crime. I'm like, I'm going to wear these pajamas till we stop killing each other. It's 6 years later, we still killing each other, so I ain't been able to get out the pajamas. But that's why I put them on. It was like, we're asleep. Until we wake up, I ain't taking them off. And I stood by these pajamas through everything, but now it's like, oh. But crime is down. In my city, crime is down.
Okay.
30–40% due to our movement.
Okay. Okay, we all we got. So tell me about the whole, the election, everything that happened with you running for mayor of Niagara Falls.
Okay, so now the mayor was
What was some of your campaign, what was your campaign predicated upon? What did you step to him with?
Well, the real campaign, it was really just supposed to be a joke. So I created this board at the beginning of last year. It was called, I call it a board. It's like a wall of all your ideals. And one of the things on it was to get some of us that's popular in our community to fake run for office, just to motivate the people. So it started fake, and then the mayor kept attacking me. So I'm like, hey, well, I'm going to join this. So now we had a situation going on. You know how these governments is corrupt. So now it was this guy that was the mayor man. I was doing work for him. I got a lot of businesses. One of them is construction. I did $15,000 worth of work for this guy. He tried not to pay me. But the mayor in the city was giving this man $1 million and 10 houses to put together and make Airbnbs. So when he didn't pay me, I went in there on camera and I broke everything in the house that I fixed. They gave me a case, and once they gave me a case, it instantly went to the news. Yahoo picked it up. Everybody picked it up. Like, look at this leader. All that I do for the city. How are y'all arresting him? But the mayor, you know, was pushing it, trying to knock me out the race. Yeah. But the dude lost $1 million. That was my point. Y'all not about to get this $1 million. And that taught me how to start teaching other people how to get grants. If they don't put me in that situation, I would never been able to teach others how to get grants. Yeah. Now I got brothers getting grants because, you know, I was telling you earlier, my movement is based off of results. If I can't put action and get results out of it, yeah, I don't want it.
So you went to the actual house that y'all was renovating, and them just destroying it.
Everything that I fixed, I went in there and destroyed it. And I knew I had to get arrested in order, because I tried to tell people about the shady deal the city was having. Yeah. Nobody had listened. Yeah. But once I got arrested, every news, every paper, and everything, I got arrested. Right. I had to use my name. I had to put my life on the line. In the end, they told me I got to pay $32,000, and I might have to do a year. Yeah. I paid $32,000 off this morning. I was supposed to get sentenced tomorrow. They ended up pushing it back because now one of the other guys that was involved want to write a letter for me or something. But yeah, I had to throw my life on the line and break that deal. It broke the deal though. Like, after the governor got involved, like, that's why my results, like, I ring out when I do stuff. Yeah.
So they never tried to actually appease you for the work that you did?
He didn't try and pay me. He kept lying to me, kept trying, because he had to show the city council that he could get this work done, and they used me to do it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the right one to use because I throw my life away for making sure that we get ahead. Like that $1 million should have went to somebody in our community that actually is out here putting in work. Y'all got an outsider, and y'all brought him in. I couldn't allow that.
Right. I noticed on the video of you down there at the West Jefferson prison down in the South that you were saying, you said something along the lines of, I did 9 years, I ain't got no problem going back for what I believe in and all of that.
Now, one of my main components I want to do with this movement is take on the prison system. I want to take on the injustices in the prison system. I chose the South because they got third world, prisons.
Yes, they do.
So I chose the South. I went down there. I got a brother that's actually in prison in Alabama. They beat him in the middle of the night and shipped him off. And anybody know West Jefferson is one of the worst prisons in the country.
Okay.
So I went to West Jefferson, just to ask questions. I had my bullhorn. They was outside in the yard like the inmates.
Yeah.
I had my bullhorn. I used to walk around with a bullhorn around my neck. So, I looked like a clown, but one with a mission. If I don't open my mouth, you don't know who I am. So I went down to this prison, and I yelled on the bullhorn, "We all we got. Help is here." The whole prison came down on me.
Yeah,
like they surrounded me.
Yeah.
The warden came out. He wouldn't give me his name, but come to find out, that black guy that was in that video, that was the warden.
They had the mask on?
Yep. That was the warden of the prison.
Okay.
The black officers is worse than the white officers in the prison.
In certain instances, yeah.
And then I'm saying, when you talk to the inmates, it's like, it's a system that's set up.
Right.
In order for us to correct this system, now let me tell you what happens off of this. I don't know, a lot of people might not know this, but what happens off of that is after I got done doing all that and we going back and forth at that prison at West Jefferson, I got home, my brother was cussing me out. We in a city where we don't really know nobody. We in Birmingham, Alabama. We just moved here to take on the prison system. And my brother, man, like they could have killed you on that dirt road back there, locked you up, anything. He yelling at me like, these people don't care. As he's saying that to me, I get a phone call on Facebook. I answer it. I'm like, who this? The brother like, yo, we heard you. It's the men. It's the men in the prison.
They got the phones,
They're all over down there. They got the phones. It's them in the prison. My phone just started blowing up with different prisoners across the state hitting me. So we bound together and we started a labor strike. We went on strike for labor because, the conditions.
So what they said, we ain't going to work in the kitchen and shit
the
like that?
The biggest labor strike that has ever happened in Alabama history was started because a man that was known by nobody showed up at this prison and motivated the inmates. Everybody them calling me, I just linked them together. I didn't do much. I just linked them together, and they did the work. They shut down the whole prisons and went into parts of Louisiana, parts of Mississippi. So this is what my move. But I understand I don't got enough power to take on the prison.
All right. You said that after that incident with them outside the prison, your brother called you that night?
No, not my brother, a regular inmate. It wasn't my brother. My brother was in the box.
Okay, so
I didn't know the guy.
Who hit you up and said, yo, they could have killed you and shit?
No, my brother was with me. Like one of my brothers out there. Not my brother that was in the prison.
Okay.
One of my brothers that was out there.
That was out there in Alabama with you.
Yeah, he ain't really my brother, but he a little homie that I took on young.
Said, man, they could have left you down there.
Yeah, they could have left you. The way, if any of y'all watched the video, they was on me. They didn't know how to handle me though because of the way, I did 9 years. At 14, I killed somebody. While I was in jail, I formed this plan. And I came home and I told myself, man, I'd rather go to jail or die than not put my all into helping my people.
Right. Okay, so you're, in a nutshell, your mission was rooted in incarceration and shit.
It was rooted in helping, coming back, helping those in incarceration.
You said you did 9 years. Can you share with me exactly what took you to the prison system for 9 years?
Well, when I was 14 years old, I was, we out here, we running the streets. I was beefing with the older dudes. My hood was beefing. They was writing different stuff on the sidewalk, different hoods. Make a long story short, one of the older dudes, he was 20 years old. He beat the hell out of me, held me down, tried to cut me with a box cutter. Man, he walked, and then he ran off. I went and got my pistol. 4 blocks later, I ran down on him and blew him away, broad daylight.
And you got a body out of that?
Yeah, they ended up giving me emotional distress. One of my cousins just got killed. They ended up giving me 11 years. I ended up doing 9.
So you, in Pennsylvania, they call it the Fisher Bill. That's when a juvenile was certified as an adult to go to adult prison. That's what they did with you? They sent you to the adult prison?
No, they sent me to juvenile. And then when I was 20 years old for my 20th birthday, I can never forget it. They woke me up at 5 in the morning, kicked my bed. Nix, get up. Sent my ass right to prison.
They took you to the state?
State prison. So first it was like a maximum juvenile where everybody in here either got life or a shitload of time.
Oh, yeah?
And then they woke me up on my 20th birthday. Shit me up.
What was the name of it?
What?
The juvenile joint you was in?
I was in Industry McCormick. Yeah, upstate New York.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What was Industry McCormick like?
Preparing you for prison.
Yeah.
You know, they taught me, like, when I went in, I couldn't read and write at all. I learned a little, like, they really breeding you to know how. By the time I got to prison, I never got a write-up. I never got a ticket. I never had to do nothing. I mean, a couple bathroom fights, but no drama. They raised me to be ready for prison. That's their job.
Oh, that's what the juvenile corrections does, actually. I was in juvenile. I did some juvenile time. It was actually more volatile than state prison and shit. Like, the juveniles was dangerous.
They get reckless because
yeah,
they're so young. Like, by the time you get to prison, you don't want to fight no more. You don't want to staff beating you up. It gets wild.
Yeah. Okay. So, when you finally made it to the adult prison system, where did they send you?
They sent me to downstate correctional.
Downstate. How long?
That's why I'm from, like, in New York prisons, you get a number. And the letter that's in your number comes from where you go upstate at. So everybody upstate normally has a beat from upstate New York. I got an A like I'm from downstate, but the only reason why I got that was because I was locked up in juvie.
When you say downstate, they gave you a number as if you was like from
0685448. It's as if I'm from New York City.
Okay.
But I'm not.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Was New York City at that juvenile joint?
Yeah.
Industrial?
Yeah.
What was your encounters like with the juveniles from
Different
New
places?
York City? Yeah.
Now,
Being
this is part of my story. I'm from Niagara Falls. So all the people that was in juvie with me, it was like 7, 8 of us that we became tight. When I came home from prison, whatever years later, I went and found them all.
Yeah.
And I put them all on.
Okay.
So that's how all these people know me in different cities. You know, when I came home, I fell off for a second. I was running the streets. And how do you find people you could trust? The people I did time with. So I went and put them all on, and then I realized a lot of them got killed by now. But I realized, hold up, I'm doing this wrong. And I switched it. That's how my name is in like Rochester. My name is in Syracuse. It wasn't because I was from these places. It was because I was locked up with people that was popular from out there.
Yeah.
But dealing with them, I love them. Rochester dudes is off the chain. They remind me. Brooklyn dudes is like, they remind me of like my hood from the East. You know, you always got them things where you link up. But I was more of a mess with upstate New York. You know, in New York, we real big on, you know, you from 716. I know, you see people from 716, they rep that 716 hard.
Yeah, it's Buffalo and shit.
Yeah, Buffalo.
No doubt.
Buffalo, Rochester. Rochester's changed, but it's still Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, upstate New York. I hate when people try and act like they from New York. From New York City. If you from upstate, say you from upstate.
Right.
You know, I'm from upstate New York. Still from New York, but I'm from upstate. I ain't from New York City where them city boys be thinking they better sometime, but once you get to know them, man, they all cool. Brooklyn dudes is like us. Harlem dudes is like the West Side dudes. Like, they like to get fly. Harlem dudes gonna get fly, even in jail. They gonna be so fly. It's just who they are. Brooklyn dudes, they gonna be grimy.
Right.
It's just how they are. They grimy.
Okay. So you launched with your knowledge and experience from the correction system, juvenile and adult. You knew that when you came home, you wanted to change some of the things that you had experienced.
Yeah, I knew that. I studied leaders, and I knew that when I came home, my plan was, my dream. Yeah. By the time I was on 45, I wanted to be known Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Demetrius Nix. I want, like, when I die, it ain't about money. Everybody in my city, like, at first they was looking at me as money because I came home. I've been home 15 years.
Okay.
I ran it up. I own 18 houses. I own 3 acres of warehouse land where I'm building a Black Wall Street. You know, I own commercial property. I got 4 or 5 businesses. I got a restaurant. I got so much stuff going on that people, like, at first they was looking at me as money, but I don't want to be known as money when I die.
Yeah.
Money, that comes and goes. The richest man always change. I want to be known for how many souls in life I touch. I want to be known for sparking the movement that changed the inner city. Like, so when I came home and I started at first, you know, we got to run the streets. We running the streets. We doing this now. I realized that if you flip the drug dealers and you teach them to be businessmen, you change the dynamics of the streets. You know, when you start flipping these shooters and giving them a stake in their community, you bring down crime. I'm against mass incarceration, but I'm against black on black crime. Right. So I had to find it. That's the hard part, is finding that middle ground. It's like you say, the white folks don't like it. They don't like that I say black so much, or I say stopping black on black crime. But I killed a black man, and almost everybody I know that killed someone killed another black man.
Right.
Because we're living amongst each other. I can't stop all crime, but I feel like where I came from, my resume, it relates to those that come from our culture. Got it.
Okay, so how did you end up down south with it? And did you, when we All We Got was in its infancy stages, did you go, was you trying to correct things that was going on in the prisons in New York State before you went down south? No,
I didn't touch it, because the problem is with New York State, we had the Attica riots.
I was going to ask you that. What about your movement was, what about the Attica riot triggered everything that you're doing right now?
So the Attica riots made it where New York State, we don't got it bad. We got it bad as far as, all of us got it bad as black people as far as them giving us time, but the prison systems is really sweet. You know,
when you say sweet, you saying that in comparison to down south? Down south,
okay. Compared to how they living down there.
Okay.
And that's why the South is where, if we want to take a prison fight, it's like, okay, so when they walked, we talking about Martin Luther King, when they walked from Montgomery to Selma, Selma was picked as a place that was small enough where they could really make a statement. The South is where I'm picking to make a statement. The Attica riots got us rights. You know, it started with the Muslims, and they want to let the Muslims read. They want to give us books. They was beating us up, and like they did to my brother. They beat him up in one prison. It took us almost 3 months to find out where he was at. They wanted to make sure he was healed before they ever let him touch his cell phone. You can't do that in New York no more. So New York prison isn't one of the ones you could come on and be like, you need to change this. People are going to look at you like, change what? You got it made. But down here, it's like drug heaven. They killing each other in there. They got 3-4 overdoses a day in most of them prisons down there.
Right.
So that's what made me pick the South as far as the prison movement. Now, when I first did it, I was going down south. I went to Atlanta. I want to make a movie about my life when I was over. You know, this many years ago before I really ran it up. I went to Tyler Perry. So I went to Tyler Perry's studio, and I had a sign saying, I got a plan, because at the time I'm thinking, I know I need celebrities to do this.
Right.
I need celebrities not to come to Niagara Falls. I got my city. I need celebrities to go back to where they're from and change your community. So I seen Tyler Perry was on the news, and he was saying how he want to stop the crime and the killing that's happening in Atlanta. Hey, I got a plan. Let me go and talk to this brother. We on the same time. So I'm standing outside the studio with this sign. I got all my orange on, even my boots was painted orange. They come outside, they all up the hill, and they end up saying I was a nuisance, I gotta move. I'm like, yo, tell Tyler Perry, they right up there, tell him to come and talk to me. They called the cops, they was like, yo, listen, he ain't coming to talk to you. He said either move off his property or you go to jail. I said, I go to jail before I move. I'm standing for something. They arrested me. I went to jail in Atlanta.
Right.
So I ended up bailing out. I left the warrant. I still got that warrant in Atlanta. Because my plan was come back home, run your money up, which is what I did. Now I got $2 million worth of property.
Right.
Once I get it all together and done, I was going to sell the houses, go back to Tyler Perry. This time, though, with $2 million, now I could get in the studio. Then I was going to call the cops on myself and get arrested and blow it into the news because all the stuff I was doing. I just needed years to build up.
Right.
I get arrested a lot.
For
doing for this fight. They don't like it.
Right.
But it's crazy. Tyler Perry put me in jail. But when I did it with Master P, like I had a bullhorn and everything. Master P was having a thing in Atlanta. And it's easier to get to him. But he was in Atlanta having like a seminar. While he was in the middle of it, I had the siren go off on the bullhorn and I ran and jumped on stage. He used to be my idol. I can't really do this movement without P. I need Master P.
Yeah.
I got an ice cream cone of my own from when I was 12 years old.
From back in the day, yeah.
From back in the day. I threw this ice cream cone on the stage. I said, I got a plan to stop black on black crime. Please listen to me. They all came storming me. They start carrying me out. P like, no, that's an entrepreneur and that's a brother that want to do something. I want to talk to him. So then he kept talking and they tried to sneak me back out. P like, no, I really want to talk to him. P gave me a 10-minute sit down. Heard it out. He went online. He was screaming, we all we got for like 2 months. I said, it's over, y'all. We about to change. P coming. Yeah, it's been about 3 years. P ain't come.
Right.
But he gave me a sit down. He couldn't hear. He told me, he said, there's no way I could hear that a man got a plan to stop the crime in our community. And I don't give him a shot to at least hear him out.
Right.
I respected that.
No doubt.